My mom, wonderful mother, entrepreneur. Uh, she was a seamstress. Well, my mom didn't play. And especially, she had to raise us all when my dad was gone, and she had to raise us, and she didn't play with it. Look, man, my mom didn't play. She was a tough lady, and she would do things that I didn't understand. I mean, she had a cleaners and Watts, and she would get up early in the morning and bake beans and rice and burritos and she's making food. Why are you making the food? Oh, I'm taking it to my people. Mom, you're giving away our food. What's going on? And she would take half of our food to the cleaners, and then people would come and get their clothes. But also the people that houseless people, she would just give them food. And I would try, Mom, why are you giving them? And then I'd come home after school because I'd sometimes have to go work there. And there'd be people in the back, you know? And you could tell there were houseless people, some running the streets, some on the street, some of the mujeres on the street, all kind of, Mom, these people are going to rip off. They're my friends, you know? I'd, it's just like, I would challenge them. They're going to rip off, or they're going to take your clothes. They're going to rip, leave them alone. They're my friends. And right on my mom's block where cleaners was, they were burning. And my mom begins to cry. And just, they're going to burn down the building. What am I going to do? How am I going to feed you guys? They're going to burn my machine. They're going to do everything. And I said, Mom, I don't know. And she started crying, and she was very upset. And they didn't let us in for like 3 or 4 days. And then she says, well, maybe they didn't burn I can take my machine. I'll work out of the house. And, well, let's go. And so she's going with me. And so I went in a car to we got right there by Manchester and Broadway. And our cleaners was right there. And we drove up, and we see all these buildings burned. And we got in front of her shop, and it wasn't burnt. And she pulled up, and she went to open the front door, and there was a sign on there. It says, thank you, Miss Jessie, for taking care of us. And my mom says, you see? So that's my mother.